The relationship between the United States, Iran, and Israel is fraught with tension. This tension has been a defining feature of Middle Eastern geopolitics for decades, shaping policies, alliances, and conflicts in the region. It is a complex web of historical grievances, ideological clashes, and geopolitical rivalries. Each nation has its own narrative, its own set of grievances, and its own strategic interests that often clash with those of the others. Understanding this history is crucial to grasping the current state of affairs. The roots of the current tensions can be traced back to the mid-20th century, with pivotal events that have left lasting scars on the collective memories of these nations. The 1979 Iranian Revolution marked a turning point. It was a seismic event that not only transformed Iran, but also had profound implications for the entire region. The overthrow of the US-backed Shah and the establishment of an Islamic Republic created a chasm between Washington and Tehran. This new regime was ideologically opposed to the United States, viewing it as the Great Satan. The hostage crisis at the US Embassy in Tehran further deepened the animosity. For 444 days, 52 American diplomats and citizens were held hostage, an event that left an indelible mark on US-Iran relations. Meanwhile, Israel's regional dominance and its close ties with the United States fueled Iranian suspicions. Israel, a key US ally, was seen by Iran as an extension of American influence in the Middle East. Tehran views Israel as an illegitimate state and a threat to its own security. This perception is rooted in both ideological and strategic considerations, with Iran supporting various anti-Israel groups in the region. The Iran-Iraq War of the 1980s saw the US and Israel providing support to Saddam Hussein's regime, further antagonizing Iran. This conflict was devastating for Iran, and the support given to Iraq by its adversaries only deepened its sense of isolation and betrayal. Decades of mistrust and hostility have created a volatile environment. The Persian Gulf has become a flashpoint, with frequent military maneuvers and standoffs that keep the region on edge. Suspicion and animosity continue to define the relationship between these key players in the Middle East. Diplomatic efforts are often overshadowed by mutual distrust and the ever-present threat of escalation. The possibility of open conflict always looms large. Each side prepares for the worst, with military drills and strategic posturing becoming routine. The US and Iran have been locked in a dangerous dance for decades. This dance is characterized by a series of provocations and responses, each bringing them perilously close to the brink of war. It is a dance fueled by mistrust and punctuated by moments of near collision. Diplomatic negotiations often stall, and military standoffs become the norm rather than the exception. The shadow of history hangs heavy over their interactions, making any prospect of reconciliation a daunting task. The legacies of past conflicts and the weight of historical grievances continue to shape the present, ensuring that the path to peace remains fraught with challenges. Diplomatic relations between the US and Iran are virtually non-existent. The history of animosity and mistrust between these two nations runs deep, creating a complex web of geopolitical tension that has persisted for decades. The two countries have not had formal diplomatic ties since 1980, following the Iranian Revolution and the subsequent hostage crisis. This pivotal moment marked the beginning of a prolonged period of hostility, with each side viewing the other with suspicion and hostility. Communication channels are limited, with sporadic talks often breaking down due to deep-seated mistrust. Efforts to bridge the gap have been sporadic and fraught with challenges, as both nations struggle to find common ground. The 2015 nuclear deal, formerly known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA, offered a glimmer of hope. It was a rare moment of diplomatic success, where both sides managed to come to an agreement that seemed to benefit all parties involved. The agreement, negotiated between Iran and the P5+1, the US, UK, France, Russia, China, and Germany, aimed to curb Iran's nuclear program in exchange for sanctions relief. This multilateral effort was seen as a significant step towards reducing nuclear proliferation and easing regional tensions. However, the Trump administration's withdrawal from the JCPOA in 2018 dealt a significant blow to diplomatic efforts. This decision not only strained relations further, but also led to a resurgence of hostilities and a renewed sense of uncertainty. The Biden administration has expressed a willingness to rejoin the deal, but progress has been slow. The path to re-engagement is fraught with obstacles, as both sides grapple with internal and external pressures that complicate the negotiation process. Both sides have set conditions that the other finds unacceptable. This impasse has made it difficult to move forward, with each nation holding firm to its demands and showing little willingness to compromise. The stalemate has further fueled tensions. Public sentiment in both countries remains highly charged, with nationalistic fervor and distrust of the other side driving much of the rhetoric and policy decisions. Recent events, including attacks on U.S. interests in Iraq attributed to Iranian-backed militias, have exacerbated the situation. These incidents have heightened the risk of direct confrontation and have made the prospect of peaceful resolution even more remote. The diplomatic impasse between the U.S. and Iran is a dangerous reality. The lack of effective communication and mutual understanding has created a volatile environment where the potential for miscalculation is ever present. Without open lines of communication and a willingness to engage in good faith negotiations, the risk of miscalculation and escalation remains high. The international community watches with bated breath, hoping for a breakthrough that could avert a potential crisis and pave the way for a more stable and peaceful future. This is the middle video segment. Stay tuned for more insights on the US-Iran-Israel dynamics. Pause 3S. Proxy warfare has become a cornerstone of Iran's strategy in the Middle East, allowing Tehran to exert influence and project power without direct confrontation. Through a network of allied militias and non-state actors, Iran has managed to extend its reach across the region, complicating the geopolitical landscape for the US and Israel. One of the most notable examples of this strategy is Hezbollah in Lebanon. Established in the 1980s with Iranian support, Hezbollah has grown into a powerful military and political force. It serves as both a deterrent and a tool for Iran, capable of striking at Israel and destabilizing the region when necessary. Hezbollah's extensive arsenal and combat experience, gained through involvement in the Syrian civil war, make it a formidable adversary. In Iraq, Iran has cultivated relationships with various Shia militias, collectively known as the Popular Mobilization Forces, or PMF. These groups have played a significant role in the fight against ISIS, but also serve as a means for Iran to influence Iraqi politics and counter U.S. presence in the country. Recent rocket attacks on U.S. interests in Iraq, attributed to these militias, underscore the ongoing proxy conflict. Syria is another theater where Iran's proxy strategy is evident. Iranian-backed militias have been instrumental in supporting the Assad regime, securing Iran a strategic foothold in the Levant. This presence not only strengthens the Iran-Syria alliance but also provides a direct link to Hezbollah in Lebanon, creating a contiguous axis of influence from Tehran to the Mediterranean. Yemen's Houthi rebels are yet another example of Iran's proxy tactics. While the extent of Iran's support to the Houthis is debated, their ability to strike deep into Saudi territory with ballistic missiles and drones has significant implications for regional security. These attacks demonstrate Iran's capability to disrupt its adversaries' stability through indirect means. Iran's reliance on proxy groups allows it to wage a form of warfare that is deniable and cost-effective. It complicates the strategic calculations of its adversaries, who must contend not only with Iran's conventional forces but also with a multitude of non-state actors operating with varying degrees of autonomy. This network of proxies enhances Iran's strategic depth and provides Tehran with multiple fronts from which to challenge U.S. and Israeli interests. The use of proxies also serves to mitigate the risk of direct military retaliation against Iran itself. By operating through intermediaries, Iran creates a buffer that complicates attribution and response, making it harder for its adversaries to launch decisive counterattacks without escalating the conflict further. As the U.S., Israel, and their allies continue to grapple with the challenges posed by Iran's proxy warfare, the potential for miscalculation and unintended escalation remains high. The intricate web of alliances and enmities in the region ensures that any conflict, even at the proxy level, has the potential to spiral into a broader confrontation. Proxy warfare has become a defining feature of the US-Iran-Israel dynamics, adding layers of complexity to an already volatile region. Understanding this aspect of the conflict is crucial for any efforts aimed at achieving long-term stability and peace in the Middle East. Iran has been steadily building up its military capabilities for decades. The country's military strategy is designed to deter a direct attack, primarily from the US and Israel. Iran focuses on asymmetric warfare, leveraging its strengths to counter its adversaries' conventional military superiority. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, plays a pivotal role in this strategy. The IRGC is a powerful branch of the Iranian armed forces, tasked with protecting the Islamic Republic's political system. It controls a vast network of proxy militias across the region, including Hezbollah in Lebanon and various Shia militias in Iraq. Iran's ballistic missile program is another key element of its military doctrine. Iran possesses a formidable arsenal of ballistic and cruise missiles, capable of striking targets throughout the Middle East, including Israel and US bases in the region. Iran has repeatedly tested these missiles, raising concerns among its adversaries. Iran's military strategy is a complex mix of deterrence, asymmetric warfare, and regional influence. Its expanding capabilities and unpredictable actions contribute to the volatile security environment in the Middle East. Section 4. American Firepower Projecting Force in the Middle East. The United States maintains a significant military presence in the Middle East, projecting power and seeking to deter its adversaries, including Iran. This presence is not just about having boots on the ground, it encompasses a wide array of military assets and strategic positions that allow the U.S. to respond swiftly to any emerging threats. The U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet, headquartered in Bahrain, operates in the Persian Gulf and surrounding waters. This fleet is crucial for maintaining maritime security and ensuring the free flow of commerce through these vital waterways. The Fifth Fleet's operations are a testament to the U.S.'s commitment to safeguarding international trade routes and deterring piracy and other maritime threats. The U.S. Air Force also has a substantial presence in the region with bases in Qatar, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. These bases serve as strategic hubs for air operations, providing the U.S. with the capability to launch missions across the Middle East. The Air Force's advanced aircraft and technology play a pivotal role in intelligence gathering, surveillance, and reconnaissance, ensuring that the U.S. remains well-informed about potential threats. In recent years, the U.S. has deployed additional troops and military assets to the Middle East in response to perceived threats from Iran. These deployments are part of a broader strategy to reassure allies and deter adversaries. The presence of U.S. troops on the ground also facilitates joint training exercises with regional partners, enhancing the overall readiness and interoperability of allied forces. These deployments include aircraft carrier strike groups, bomber squadrons, and Patriot missile defense systems. Aircraft carrier strike groups provide a versatile and powerful tool for projecting air and sea power, while bomber squadrons offer long-range strike capabilities. The Patriot missile defense systems are crucial for protecting both U.S. and allied forces from missile threats, particularly from Iran. The U.S. has also strengthened its military cooperation with regional allies, including Israel and Saudi Arabia. These alliances are vital for maintaining regional stability and countering common threats. Joint military exercises and intelligence sharing enhance the capabilities of allied forces and ensure a coordinated response to any potential aggression. The U.S. military's primary objectives in the region are to protect American interests, ensure freedom of navigation, and counter Iranian influence. Protecting oil routes is particularly important, as the Middle East is a critical supplier of energy to the world. By maintaining a strong presence, the U.S. aims to prevent any disruption to these vital supply lines. The U.S. has shown a willingness to use military force in the past, as evidenced by the 2003 invasion of Iraq and the ongoing campaign against ISIS. These operations highlight the U.S.'s readiness to take decisive action when its interests or the security of its allies are threatened. The campaign against ISIS in particular has involved a combination of airstrikes, ground operations, and support for local forces. The U.S. military presence in the Middle East is a potent symbol of American power. It serves as a deterrent to adversaries and a reassurance to allies. The sight of the U.S. flag on military equipment and bases across the region is a constant reminder of the U.S.'s commitment to maintaining peace and stability. It is a clear demonstration of Washington's commitment to protecting its interests and confronting its adversaries in the region. This commitment is backed by a comprehensive strategy that includes diplomatic efforts, economic sanctions, and military readiness. The U.S.'s multifaceted approach ensures that it can address a wide range of challenges and continue to play a leading role in the Middle East. Pause 3S, Section 6, Digital Battleground, Cyber Warfare, and Information Operations. As traditional military capabilities evolve, so too does the battlefield. The U.S., Iran, and Israel are increasingly engaged in cyber warfare and information operations, using the digital realm to advance their strategic objectives. Iran has invested heavily in its cyber capabilities, launching attacks against critical infrastructure in the US and Israel. These cyber attacks aim to disrupt operations, steal sensitive information, and sow discord. Iran's cyber units have targeted financial institutions, energy companies, and even government agencies, demonstrating their ability to inflict significant damage without physical confrontation. In response, the US and Israel have bolstered their own cyber defenses and offensive capabilities. The United States Cyber Command, US Cybercom, plays a pivotal role in defending against cyber threats and conducting offensive operations to deter adversaries. Israel's Unit 8200, an elite military intelligence unit, is renowned for its expertise in cyber warfare and intelligence gathering. Both nations have successfully thwarted numerous Iranian cyber attacks and have launched their own operations to degrade Iran's cyber infrastructure. These operations often involve sophisticated malware such as the infamous Stuxnet virus, which targeted Iran's nuclear facilities and set back its nuclear program by years. Information operations are another critical component of modern warfare. Iran, the US, and Israel utilize social media, news outlets, and other platforms to influence public opinion and shape narratives. Iran's state-sponsored media and social media campaigns aim to spread propaganda, discredit adversaries, and rally support for its policies. Conversely, the US and Israel use similar tactics to counter Iranian narratives and promote their own agendas. These operations are designed not only to inform but also to confuse and manipulate, making it increasingly difficult to discern truth from misinformation. As cyber warfare and information operations become more sophisticated, they add a complex and unpredictable layer to the already volatile dynamics in the Middle East. The digital battleground is a critical front in the struggle for influence and control, where the consequences of a successful attack can be as devastating as any physical strike. In this new era of conflict, the ability to navigate and dominate the cyber and information domains is essential for national security. The US, Iran, and Israel are locked in a continuous battle for digital supremacy, each seeking to exploit vulnerabilities and protect their own interests in this shadowy and ever-evolving theater of war. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content on geopolitical affairs. Section 5. The Israeli Factor, a nation on high alert. Israel sits at the heart of the tensions between the US and Iran. As a close ally of the United States and a regional power in its own right, Israel views Iran as an existential threat. Tehran's nuclear ambitions, ballistic missile program, and support for anti-Israeli groups like Hezbollah have fueled deep anxieties in Jerusalem. Israel has adopted a multi-pronged approach to counter the Iranian threat. It maintains one of the most technologically advanced militaries in the world, capable of striking targets deep inside Iranian territory. Israel has also developed sophisticated missile defense systems, such as Iron Dome and David's Sling, to intercept rockets and missiles fired from Gaza, Lebanon, and potentially Iran. Moreover, Israel has engaged in covert operations, including sabotage and assassinations, aimed at disrupting Iran's nuclear and missile programs. The Israeli intelligence services, Mossad and Shin Bet, play a critical role in gathering intelligence on Iranian activities and conducting clandestine operations. Israel's security concerns and its proactive stance against Iran are major factors shaping the dynamics of the region. Its actions and reactions have the potential to escalate tensions and spark a wider conflict.